camera over there. Thank you so much for joining this live broadcast. My name is Deborah, and on this channel, Nonconformist Eyewear, I do all things nonconformism. So anything that I do in my life where I do not conform is what I share. First and foremost, my locks, and then just my lifestyle, really simple living and all that. So as you can see, I'm looking down here because I have my notes and I'd like to refer to them once I am going through this video. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the love, for the support, and all of that great stuff. Yeah, thank you so much. So as you can see from the title of the video, is watching of your locks will make them grow faster, or how to grow your locks faster. Is that a good topic to use? If you're joining this on the replay, thank you so much. If you're going to comment later on, thank you so much. All right, so let's get into it. Let me kick off by telling you a story about my very first set of freeform locks. I've never had manicured locks before because of the fineness of my hair, the very fragileness of my hair is why I've never had traditional locks before. I've always veered towards freeform locks. So it would have been about maybe, I want to say 10 years ago, I had my first set, everything was going well, might have hit the, I don't know, 1 year, maybe 18-month mark, and then I decided to use aloe vera, fresh aloe vera in my locks. Now, this video is definitely not bashing aloe because I think aloe is amazing, actually. I think it's really, really amazing. But for me, I just didn't use it the right way. I made a mistake and I didn't use it the right way, and I learned my lesson. So I cut the aloe up, I put it in a blender, I blended it all up, it was fine, and then I didn't strain it. Biggest mistake. I didn't strain it, and then I proceeded to just put it straight into my locks, and I just had all these pits and bits everywhere in my locks. Now, in my panic, thinking, oh my God, what have I done? Instead of me sitting down, maybe doing some research or thinking, well, this is liquid or this is wet, what can I do? Thank you. Good day. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Welcome to this live broadcast. I see someone in the house. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome. So instead of me sitting down, taking my time to say, what should I do to resolve this problem? What I did is jump straight in the shower, try and wash it out, thinking I've washed it out, came out of the shower, and I still had tons of this aloe in my hair. And then I was in the shower literally constantly. I must have washed my hair probably no less than 10 times in the space of 2 days, 3 days. My hair was never drying. I was just constantly washing it. And my locks had formed at that time. And so the pits didn't come out. I could have in hindsight left it, let it dry, and then see if the aloe will flake out or drop out or just crisp up and then fall out. I didn't do that. I brushed and brushed. I kept washing. My mind kept telling me, my brain kept telling me, keep washing. The more I washed it, the more water I put into it. And eventually by, I'd say maybe a week after, I started to smell this mustiness in my hair, and it was awful. I tell you, no lie, it was awful. The smell was just, it was musty. So that brings me into today's topic, which is constant washing of your freeform locks, or your locks will make your locks grow faster. Now, let me give you another example. Perhaps these examples will make us think about just a simple common sense approach to things. I think when we overdo it with our locks, especially if you have freeform locks, there's a tendency to get it wrong, and there's a tendency to make mistakes. One, you can't speed up the process. You can't speed up the process. The process will happen. Growth will happen as long as you give your hair a chance. But here's another good example. Do you know that some of the biggest trees, and I've got an example here, the shea butter tree is a massive tree. The baobab tree is a massive tree. Those two trees, no one waters them and they produce their fruits constantly and nobody adds water to them. Do you see how big they grow and the fruit they give off? Shea butter has been going for centuries and is still giving off nuts for people to use for, let me see, for people to use for, all sorts of cosmetic reasons. The same with baobab. Now think about other shrubs or plants or succulents like aloe, cacti. They grow in very arid conditions. Yeah, nobody waters them. They actually survive on dryness and they grow very well when the conditions are really humid. They do need some water and they do get some water, but when you see real aloe and real cacti, they grow in very arid conditions. And I'll tell you why, because I'm a big lover of succulents as plants at home, and I love cacti a lot. And for a number of years, I would buy a cacti, a small one, to try to grow it. And what I was doing is watering it on a daily basis, like I was watering all my other plants. Thank you so much for joining. Good day. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing really, really, really well. Thank you. It's lovely to see you all in the house. Thank you. Thank you. I see the numbers going up. I appreciate you. So I would water my cacti literally every day. And guess what? They just died off. And so I thought, you know what? Do some research. I did some research and I found that underwatering it, just creating that warm environment, made them grow. And I had some that grew really, really, really well from just watering them maybe once a week, once every few weeks. And that's all they needed. In fact, if you don't water them and allow them to dry out, they thrive. Now think about aloe. Aloe vera is got a heavy water content, yet it doesn't need so much water. Again, I've tried that out. Even in very dry environments where I grow aloe, if I constantly water it, it just turns to mush. It doesn't like it. So again, I'm giving you this analogy in terms of our hair. Although our hair is not cacti and it's not aloe and it's not a shea butter tree and it's not a baobab tree, but these are examples of things in nature that do very well without the injection of huge amounts of water. This brings me into what I'm saying. When you are growing your locks, even in the early stages or at the stage where your locks have actually grown, and let me just show you mine today. I've got my scarf on. So this is my locks today. And I tell you, since I've been growing this set of locks, which is almost 3 years, by next year, March or April, will be 3 years, I have never excessively washed my hair to make it grow faster. I know my hair was way, way shorter. I mean, I only had an afro about this high. It was sticking up at some point. And now all of a sudden, I can feel like I've got an insect or a bug. Sometimes I'm like, oh, and then I realize, oh, it's the hair. I'll go, oh, there's nothing there. It's just my hair. So it tells me that it's growing. And I have never had to wash it excessively. If anything, I would say there are times where I under wash it just because I've forgotten the last time I washed it. It doesn't feel like it needs a wash. And I just let it speak to me. So let your locks speak to you in terms of when it needs to be washed. If you wash it excessively, whether you are in the early stages of it or it's beginning to lock, if you wash it excessively, this is what you're doing. So on Monday, you decide you're going to wash your hair because you feel like it needs a wash, right? And then in your mind, you want it to grow. So on Tuesday, you decide you're also going to wash it. Okay, let's say that's extreme. On Wednesday, 2 days later, you decide to wash it. But remember, our hair holds moisture, yeah? It holds moisture even when it's evaporated, but it will hold some moisture and your hair is going to take some time to dry. What we're doing by washing it excessively is that we're not giving it time to dry out. So you've got that water sitting in your hair, but you're not giving it time to actually evaporate and for your hair to benefit and draw all the nutrients it needs from that water before you add water to it again. And then you add water, it's still wet from 2 days ago or yesterday, you add water to it again, you wash it, and then one day of drying is not finished, next day it's wet again, the third day or 2 days later it's wet again, it's wet, it's wet, it's wet. Even if you can't see it, inside your lock, even when your hair is loose, you are really creating an overly moist environment for your hair. You're creating an environment which is overly moist, which means that because the hair is cottony and is so moist, there's a propensity for it to start to develop this mildew, moldy mustiness to it, this kind of funkiness, funky smell to it. Another thing you're doing by constantly and overly washing it is you're not giving your hair and your scalp the opportunity for it to flourish and for it to have that right environment, the natural environment for it to recalibrate, reset itself, reset itself properly. You're not allowing your body to, your scalp to enjoy the natural oils that's coming out of your body, even the oils you're putting in your hair, even the products that you may put in your locks. If you're putting products in your locks and you are putting it in on a Monday and a Wednesday, washing it out, it's kind of a waste of money, and it's a wasted effort, really. You put, some sort of product in your hair on Monday, by Wednesday you've washed it out, you put it in again on Wednesday, by Friday you've washed it out, and so on and so forth. So what's the essence of putting all this stuff in your hair? And if you're like me, you don't put any products in your hair other than you wash it with whatever conditioner, shampoo you need, and then you just let it be like I do. If I were to wash it every day, what I'll be doing is stripping out all the natural oils that my scalp is trying to benefit from. That natural sebum, that natural oil is there for a reason, to help my hair to grow and to help to keep my scalp moisturized, supple, and in the right conditions. It's almost like when they talk about that pH balance, you are not allowing your scalp to have those right conditions by constantly washing it. It can actually, in my opinion, be detrimental to the growth of your freeform locks, or any locks, to be honest, in my opinion. You may disagree, and that's perfectly fine. Remember, we are in an adult environment where we are all supposed to be respectful towards everybody else's opinion. So I do respect, if your opinion differs to mine. But for me, thank you so much for joining. Welcome in. Thank you. But for me, I feel that like overwashing it, whether it's the beginning stages, the middle stages, or when your locks are freely formed, can be counterproductive, to what you're trying to achieve. There is no fast way of growing these locks. There is no fast way. There is no cutting corners. There is no skipping steps. It will happen. What I suggest and what I do is a balance, a good balance. Balance of wash when it needs to be washed and leave it be, let it do its own thing. Yeah, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good day, good morning. Where's everyone joining from? I am out here in the United Kingdom right now. I'm in the United Kingdom, and the Locs they are doing their thing. Let's just give you, yeah, we still got a big one here. I hope you can see it. I really do. So they are coming along, and I've never had to overwash them. If anything, I would say, like I said at the beginning, maybe underwash it, not deliberately, just because life takes over and I forget. And so when I remember, I'm like, oh, let me wash it. And I noticed that when that happens, by the time I washed it and all the dirt and everything is out of my hair and out of my scalp, my hair seems a lot longer. It's dropped more, and I'm thinking, when was the last time I even washed it? So that's what I wanted to say about that. Let me just check my notes and see if I've missed anything. Oh, I also want to say this. Let's use another example, because I like to use examples to explain myself. Our hair is like cotton. It's like cotton, or cotton, however we say it here in Essex in the UK. If you have afro hair and you are a melanated person, it is very much like cotton. It feels like wool. Sometimes it feels like wool or cotton to the feel. And let's say you take a cotton fabric and you leave it on the side, and today you put water on it and it's not dried. Yeah. Tomorrow you go back and see it's half dry and you put water on it again, you sprinkle some water, and then you take that fabric and you wring it out, and then you put it in a cupboard, and then you take it out of the cupboard and then you put it outside, and then you bring it back in and then you put water on it the next day, and then you put it in your handbag, and then you put it in a cupboard, and you keep moving around. This is what we are as human beings. We're moving around from different places. Eventually what you're going to find is that fabric is going to have a smell, and then you go and put it in a cupboard where it's kind of warm but it's not hot enough to dry it because you're not airing it out enough. All this that you're doing to it is going to leave that fabric smelling funny. It's going to smell disgusting, basically. And nobody wants hair that has a foul smell. Even to you as a person wearing your hair, that first set of locks I had, I tell you, the smell from it, from just constantly trying to wash out this aloe from my hair for like 2-3 days in a row and still didn't do the job, tells me that was my experience of overwashing my hair. And my locks had already formed by that time. So the locks will retain inside of it, inside of the shaft, not on the outside. What's inside of it is going to hold moisture, is going to hold water. So you need your locks to be able to thoroughly dry out before you introduce water to it again. Sometimes our locks takes 2 days. As thin and as fine as my hair is extremely fine. It may not look like that on camera, but I have very, 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 very fine hair. My hair would take sometimes 2 days before it dries. So imagine if I'm adding water to it every single day. That's just not a good environment for my hair to flourish. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. One thing I want to say is, if your hair, when you started 6 months ago, or when your hair was loose, was growing, and you were not having to wash it excessively, why do it differently now? It's going to grow. Yeah. So it's growing. I'm telling you that because look at mine. It wasn't this long at all when I started. I didn't start like this, and it's growing. And I'm just washing it, leaving it, washing it. Give your hair a break, give your hair a break. And that goes for even going into the sea, in water, under the shower, all of that. Just let it do its thing. Let it get dirty, wash it. Let it get dirty, wash it. If you must introduce water to it, these are my 2 top recommendations. Number 1, sometimes we go in the bathroom, we wash our hands after we use the bathroom or the toilet, and our hands are wet, and you wipe it against the towel or cloth. Instead of doing that, if your hands are wet and whatever, just pass it over your hair. Pass it over your hair. If you're in the shower in the morning, get your hand under the mist of the shower and just do that. Yeah, just do it. Just that little bit of freshness, like you just want to, pass it over. Just do that. The second thing I highly recommend is, if you must have water in your hair because you feel like it's going to help it grow or you need that moisture, drink the water. Drink it versus applying it topically. Drink it, let it come through your system. The body is a powerhouse, kind of a mechanical object or mechanical power station that has the ability to distribute all that your body needs: your hair, your nails, your eyes, your skin, your heart, your lungs, every part of your body in the right proportions, in the exact correct proportions. So that's the best way to enjoy the benefits of water. Ingest it. Drink as much as you need to. Drink your skin. Of course, you will see the benefits, and your hair will take the benefits it needs to have from the water. So that pretty much is all I wanted to say about constantly washing your hair and the fact that it's going to help it grow. Maybe for some people it may have worked, but in my honest opinion, I can't see the logic to it. I just can't see the logic to it. I think it's too much. I think it's overdoing it. And I think that, our hair, it doesn't need that much. It really doesn't need that much. So that pretty much is it. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the attendance. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you also very much. So I'll catch you in another live broadcast. Thank you for all the likes and love on the shorts that I've been doing. And yeah, that pretty much is it. All right. Have a nice day. Bye.